Scrappy had always thought he knew what trouble looked like. Trouble was loud, came with flashing lights, and usually had a beat you could dance away from. But this trouble crept in quietly, sliding into his life on the back of a text notification. He was in his living room that morning, headphones hanging around his neck, the faint hum of an unfinished beat still looping in the background, when his phone lit up with an image he couldn't unsee. It wasn't high definition. It didn't need to be. Grainy, slightly tilted, like the photographer had been ducking behind a car door, but the outline was unmistakable. Britney. She had pulled up, sunglasses on, walking out of what looked like a medical building. One hand clutched a manila envelope, the other rested gently, almost absent-mindedly, over her stomach. The caption beneath the image, splashed across a gossip page in bold white font, read, "Congrats to Atlanta realtor Britney spotted leaving a prenatal clinic." His first instinct was denial. The photo could be old, could be fake, could be anything but what it looked like. But then his eyes caught the timestamp in the corner of the image, last Thursday. He zoomed in despite himself, thumb trembling slightly as he studied the curve of her hand over her belly. The comments section was a feeding frenzy. "So it's true. Is this Scrappy's plot twist of the year? Camera never lies." He didn't even notice he was holding his breath until the phone's screen went black and his reflection stared back at him, demanding answers he didn't have. He tossed the phone face down on the coffee table, leaned back on the couch, and let the silence close in. While Scrappy sat in that heavy silence miles away, Mama Dee was already on the hunt. News like this wasn't something you scrolled past. It was a summons. And Mama Dee never ignored a summons. By 9 a.m., she was dressed like she had an appointment with destiny. Hair pressed, earrings gleaming, and a cream silk blouse that said she was both approachable and dangerous. 3 phones were plugged into chargers, one in her hand, scrolling, tapping, zooming. "Prenatal clinic, HM," she muttered, sipping her coffee like it was a witness she needed to intimidate. She dialed a number she hadn't called in months, an old contact from her days working with a private event planner who somehow knew everyone, from club promoters to courthouse clerks. "Baby," Mama Dee began, her voice dripping honey but edged with steel, "I need eyes on Britney's last 3 weeks. Every appointment, every sighting, any place that smells like lavender and lies." On the other end, her contact chuckled. "That girl stay looking too perfect. Let's see what she's hiding." Mama Dee ended the call and opened her Bible, not to read, but to rest her hand on a page like it was a map she was about to follow. "You can't graft rotten fruit into royal roots," she murmured to the empty kitchen, then took another sip of coffee. 2 hours later, the first breadcrumb landed in her inbox, a still from a security camera showing Britney stepping out of a clinic's glass doors. The building's logo was backward in the reflection, but Mama Dee knew how to flip an image in her head. She zoomed in on the timestamp. 2 days ago. The next file was street cam footage, a black SUV pulling into the underground garage attached to the same clinic. The final ping was the kicker, a credit card charge from the smoothie bar in the lobby, timestamped 10 minutes after her exit, with the order marked extra protein. Mama smiled without joy. "Math," she said softly. "And math don't lie." She wasn't done. She made another call, this time to someone who had done occasional security work for Brandon Wallace, Britney's still legal husband. "Check his schedule for the last 3 months, she instructed. "If he's been anywhere near Atlanta, I want to know when, where, and who he was with." While the net closed around her, Britney sat in her spotless apartment, the kind of spotless that only comes from someone trying to scrub guilt out of the air. She hadn't left much to chance. Blinds drawn, phone on silent, television off. The sonogram envelope lay on the coffee table unopened. She'd been carrying it around since the appointment, sliding it from bag to bag like a talisman. She couldn't look at it. She told herself it was because she wanted to open it in private, maybe with soft music playing, maybe with someone holding her hand. The truth was simpler, and far uglier. Opening it would make it real. Her phone buzzed against the glass tabletop. Rhea, her oldest friend and the only one she still trusted. "You've seen it, right?" The message read. Britney typed, erased, typed again. Finally, "Yeah." Seconds later, Rhea called. "You need to go offline," she said, voice tight. "Lie low. Let it pass." "I can't lie low," Britney said, pressing her fingers to her temple. "I owe a truth." But she didn't send it. She hung up instead, stood, and walked to the window. Somewhere in the distance, the city pulsed with the rhythm of gossip passed from phone to phone. she whispered to herself. Who are you going to force me to be? By now, the story had escaped the blogs and was spreading across platforms. Tasha K teased exclusive courthouse tea in a cryptic tweet. A gossip account posted a blurry lounge photo from 3 months back. Britney in a black dress, one hand on her stomach, sitting beside a man whose face was cropped out, but whose watch gleamed under the dim lights. In the comments, someone wrote, "That's Brandon's Rolex. Saw it in his custody hearing pics." Brandon himself joined the game, posting a smug gym mirror selfie with the caption, "Family over fraud. Paperwork over pretending. If you know, you know." That evening, Mama Dee called Scrappy. "Come by," she said. "Bring your quiet." When he arrived, her dining table was set not for dinner, but for war. Printouts, screenshots, and receipts were laid out like evidence in a trial. She didn't speak right away. She let him look. Clinic. 2 days ago. SUV. That ain't hers. Smoothie with extra protein. On a fasting day. And this. She slid the lounge photo toward him. 3 months ago. Belly showing. And that's Brandon's hand right there. Math don't lie, baby. Scrappy stared at the photo, his thumb running over the glossy edge. "If it ain't mine," he said slowly, "then it ain't my business." Mama Dee's voice softened, but her eyes stayed sharp. "Bloodline is my business. And if it ain't ours, I'm going to make sure the whole world knows the truth." Britney had been pacing her apartment so long the carpet fibers had flattened into a trail between the kitchen and the living room. The blinds were shut tight, but she felt like the whole city could see through them. The sonogram envelope sat on the coffee table like a witness, quiet, but damning. Every time her eyes landed on it, her stomach turned. She kept telling herself she would open it when the time felt right. Maybe after a long bath. Maybe with the right playlist. Maybe with someone there to hold her hand. But the truth was simpler and uglier. Opening it meant admitting there was no going back. Her phone buzzed again. "You're not picking up, so I'm calling again," Rhea said when Britney answered. Her voice was sharp, but underneath carried the warmth only the oldest friends could manage. "Have you seen what they are posting?" "What they are posting?" Britney pressed her lips together. "Yeah, I've seen it." "You need to get offline," Rhea warned. "Deactivate everything. Shut it down. Let this pass before it drowns you." Britney closed her eyes. "I can't lie, Rhea. I owe a truth." "Then tell it," Rhea shot back. "But tell it to me first, because you know the streets will twist it into something you can't survive." An hour later, Britney was at Rhea's apartment, the one place in the city she could still walk into without worrying about hidden cameras or nosy neighbors. The air smelled like sage and buttered toast. Rhea had already made tea, 2 mismatched mugs waiting on the coffee table. Britney sat down heavily, rubbing her palms over her knees. She stared at the steam rising from her cup but didn't touch it. Rhea leaned forward. "Say it out loud." Britney's fingers tightened. "I'm pregnant." The words came out flat, almost mechanical. Rhea didn't blink. "Okay. And?" Britney swallowed hard. "It's not Scrappus." The silence that followed was thick enough to choke on. "Then whose?" Rhea asked finally. Britney's eyes darted to the window, as if the answer might be written in the skyline. "We were separated, but not filed. One night, old mistakes." Rhea's jaw set. "So, Brandon." Britney's shoulders slumped. "It wasn't supposed to happen like that. We hadn't spoken in months. Then we saw each other at a friend's birthday. One thing led to another, and here we are." "Here you are," Rhea repeated. "In the middle of a pregnancy with a man you're still legally married to, while the whole city thinks it might be Scrappus." Britney's voice cracked. "I didn't want to lose Scrappy. I didn't want to lose the life we were building. I thought if I just waited until I filed, maybe no one would find out." "Maybe," Rhea finished for her. "But you know that's not how Mama Dee works." Britney let out a bitter laugh. "She probably knew before I even missed my period." Across town, Mama Dee was still collecting her puzzle pieces. Every new breadcrumb confirmed her suspicion, but she wasn't ready to confront Britney yet. She wanted the full picture, and she wanted the cameras rolling when she dropped it on the table. By evening, the gossip. The cycle had gone from simmering to boiling. Tasha K had posted a teaser. "Court papers don't lie, and this tea is too hot to sip slow." A gossip blog dug up Britney's marriage license to Brandon, still active.
No divorce filing.
Another page posted side-by-side shots of Brandon's watch in the lounge photo and in a custody hearing from last year. The captions were merciless: case closed. Somebody call Moy. Brandon poured gasoline on the fire with another post. This time it was a close-up of a baby blanket in neutral colors folded neatly on a chair. No caption, just a tag, #FamilyFirst. Britney sat on Rhea's couch, scrolling through the storm she had been trying to ignore. Every notification felt like another stone thrown at her window. "Stop reading it," Rhea said, reaching for the phone. "I can't," Britney whispered. "It's like I need to see how bad it gets." Rhea shook her head. "It's going to get worse before it gets better.
And you're not ready for Mama Dee." Britney let out a hollow laugh.
"No one's ready for Mama Dee." At that exact moment, Scrappy was sitting at Mama Dee's dining table, staring at the photo of Britney with Brandon's hand in frame. "If it ain't mine," Scrappy said quietly, "then it ain't my business."
Mama Dee leaned in, eyes sharp. "Bloodline is my business.
"And if it ain't ours, you best believe I'm going to make sure the whole world knows the truth." The night after her talk with Rhea, Britney drove home through Atlanta streets with her hood pulled low, one hand on the wheel, the other resting absently over the curve of her stomach. Every red light felt like a spotlight. Every passing car felt like a set of eyes. When she finally made it inside her condo, she tossed her keys on the counter and stared at her phone. She knew she couldn't hide forever. The whispers were turning into roars, and every hour she stayed silent made it easier for the world to decide the story without her. Scrolling through her notes app, she began typing, "I'm going to be a mother.
I know the timing looks messy. It is.
I will share what I can, when I can. Please let me breathe." She read it twice, deleted it, typed it again. Finally, she posted it to Instagram as a simple black and white text image. No emojis, no hashtags. The comments flooded in instantly, from sympathy to scorn. "Stay strong, Mama. We know the truth, sis. Tag the father." While Britney's post was making the rounds, Brandon was busy stoking the fire. He uploaded a close-up of a tiny gray Odyssey laid out on a bed with the caption, "Ready when you are." The subtext was obvious. He was claiming his place in the narrative, daring anyone to challenge him. The post made its way to Mama Dee's phone before midnight. She didn't reply, but she screenshotted it twice, once for her lawyer, once for her personal archive. The next afternoon, Scrappy pulled into Mama Dee's driveway, parking behind her cream-colored SUV.
He knew she had called him over for more than lunch.
Inside, the table was set, but not with plates and silverware. Printouts, receipts, and screenshots were spread across it like evidence in a courtroom. Mama Dee poured herself a glass of sweet tea and sat at the head of the table. "Baby," she began, "I need you to understand the gravity of what's going on here." She tapped the first photo, Britney at the clinic. The second, the smoothie receipt. The third, the lounge picture with Brandon's watch gleaming in the corner.
Clinic, 2 days ago.
SUV, that ain't hers.
Smoothie with extra protein on a fasting day.
And this, belly already showing months before she told you anything. Scrappy stared at the lounge photo, his thumb dragging over the glossy paper like it might reveal something more if he rubbed hard enough. "If it ain't mine," he said after a pause, "then it ain't my business." Mama Dee leaned forward, her voice low but firm.
"Bloodline is my business. This family's name is my business.
And if it ain't ours, I'm going to make sure the whole world knows the truth before somebody else tries to write it for us." Meanwhile, Britney's Instagram post had triggered a fresh wave of media coverage. Blogs dissected every word, debating whether messy timing meant she was admitting to the rumors. Reaction channels clipped old love and hip-hop episodes, comparing her tone now to past storylines. Tasha K took it a step further, hinting in a live stream that court filings were already in motion, and that the reunion taping might be where the truth finally comes out, on camera. That evening, Mama Dee received a blocked call. She let it go to voicemail, but when she listened, the voice was unmistakable.
"Brandon, see you in court, or see me on camera."
She replayed it twice, then set her phone down on the table. Later that night, Mama Dee stood in her living room, a leather-bound binder on the coffee table. Across the front, in bold gold letters, one word was stamped, lineage. She rested her hands on it, looking straight into the camera of the producer filming her for a confessional. "We protect ours," she said slowly. "Always. And if the math don't add up, baby, we're going to balance the books ourselves." She closed the binder with a soft thud and smiled the dangerous smile she always wore before every fight worth having.
Fade to black.